Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We as a nation have taken the historic step to give Bharat Suraksha Kavach to those who have been persecuted only on the basis of their religion and have been hounded out of their homes in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. East Pakistan at one time. The day after the Citizenship Act was notified by the Modi Sarkar by Home Ministry led by Amidst, merely days before the 2024 election dates are to be announced, there have been two contradictory views on it. On one hand, joyous celebrations have erupted in Siliguri and Hooghly, Thakurbari and Jalpaiguri in West Bengal. After all, the Matua community which lives in these border areas of the Bengal state have been forced out of their homes just because they were Hindus. They have been living as refugees in India since 1971, but without any recognition, without any rights. Today, they will truly be integrated with India. On the other hand, there are protests and politics which have reached a feverish pitch. Congress, left, IUML and their student bodies held dharnas, bunds and protests across Delhi, Assam, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. From the streets to college campuses, they called the CAA undemocratic and discriminatory. Meanwhile, the Indian Muslim League has moved the highest court of the land to stay the Citizenship Act and the rules that have been notified. They have in their plea called it unconstitutional and claimed that it is discriminatory against Muslims. Although Modi Sarkar has clarified that this act will not take away anybody's citizenship, the IUML has contended that such religious segregation violates the right to equality under Article 14. These flames of fury were actively fanned by the satraps of the India alliance. While Chief Ministers Mamata Banerjee and Chief Minister Stalin have dug in their heels saying they will not allow CAA to be implemented in their own states, others have pandered to fear and panic as something that will be necessarily the fallout of this law. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi linked the timing of this announcement to Ramzan and advised Muslims in India to prepare their papers because that will be the next demand. Mehbooba Mufti went a step further, calling CAA a second partition of India of the people by the Modi Sarkar. Akhilesh Yadav has once again raised the alarm that BJP is trying to deflect from the real issues before polls. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has added to the fear-mongering, saying that Muslims will now be bundled up and packed off into detention camps. Listen in to all of these statements raising apprehensions and fear.
এটা এনআরসির সাথে কানেক্টেড মনে রাখবেন আপনাদের ডিটেনশন ক্যাম্পে নিয়ে চলে যাওয়া হবে এই দরখাস্ত করবার আগে বারবার ভাববেন একবার নয় হাজার বার আমরা মানছি না আমরা মানবো না
सब सारी दुनिया को मालूम कि कल तरावी की नमाज शुरू हो रही है रमजान का महीना शुरू हो रहा तो आप लोग एक मैसेज देना चाहते थे भारत की सबसे बड़ी माइनॉरिटी को जो 17 करोड़ की है कि अब आप लोग कागज निकालने की तैयारी करिए
I am completely opposed to it. I am taking the same stand that I took in Parliament, both when they introduced the bill and when the debate on the bill happened in the Lok Sabha. And I can tell you, I consider this morally and constitutionally wrong. Pure communal message, a dog whistle as they say, a whistle to some people saying your communal agenda is what we are pursuing. That is unacceptable to us. It is clearly timed 4 years after the passage of the bill, just for their benefit in these elections.
While Mamata Banerjee presses the panic button that Muslims will be sent off to detention centers, she seems to have conveniently forgotten the antecedents of her own alliance partner, Congress. Yesterday on the Newshour, I reminded you of the visuals from the Parliament in 2005 where Mamata Banerjee threw papers at the Speaker, Somnath Chatterjee, literally targeting him for the left rule in Bengal, which had given so much of free entry to migrants into Bengal. and she walked out of the alliance of the UPA and over the issue of illegal migration into Bengal. Today on the Newshour Fact Check, let's remind you how it was Mamta's ally, the Congress party, not the BJP, which had opened the first detention centers in Assam. Under the Tarun Gogoi government in 2012, not only did Congress party advocate but also actively built detention camps to jail illegal migrants as per UPA's directives. The Congress's white paper actually says it all. It says it is decided to set up detention centers in Assam for foreigners. The state government is authorized under section 3(2)(e) of the Foreign Act of 1946. So far, 66 people have been detained in Golpara, 32 in Kokrajhar, and 20 in Silchar. This is something that is even mentioned in the 2009 Guwahati High Court order, which you can see on your screens. It says the procedure to detect and deport was done as per instructions of the Ministry of Home Affairs in 23rd November 2009. Till their nationality is confirmed, they are being kept in detention centers. And yet, Mamta Banerjee targets Prime Minister Modi for allegedly setting up detention camps and allies with the Congress party, which actually was the first party to set up these detention centers. Ironically, while opposition raises the banner of protest in the name of saving minority rights, watch how patriotic Muslims have cut through the political rhetoric and rejected their fear-mongering and panic. Listen in for yourselves.
तमाम सियासी पार्टियां मुसलमान को राष्ट्र हित में बनने वाले कानूनों से गुमराह कर रही है और अपनी सियासी रोटियां सेक रही है। सीए कहीं पर भी मुसलमान का मुखालिफ नहीं है, बल्कि तमाम धर्मों के हितों को सामने रखकर सीए लागू किया जा रहा है।
ये जो पार्टीज अपोज कर रही हैं इलेक्शंस में, सबसे पहले अगर इनके नंबर ऊपर नीचे आए, सबसे पहले ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ हाथ मिलाएंगी। हिंदुस्तान के हर नागरिक के लिए, हिंदुस्तान की मजबूती के लिए और हिंदुस्तान की इमेज है पूरी दुनिया में आगे बढ़ रही है, उसके लिए बिल जो है बड़ा सक्षम है और इससे सबको फायदा होगा।
मैं भारत सरकार के लागू किए जाने का स्वागत करता हूं, इस्तकबाल करता हूं। इस कानून से मुसलमानों को डरने की और खौफजदा होने की जरूरत नहीं है और मैं ये चाहूंगा कि हर मुसलमान सीए के लागू होने का इस्तकबाल करे और स्वागत करे।
If the Muslim community has no grounds with persecuted minorities being given citizenship, why is the opposition rattled by CAA? Are they worried that Prime Minister Modi will attain the 400 par target with his latest pitch for Sabka Vishwas? The BJP has hit out at the opposition, saying that they are blinded by appeasement and vote bank politics. Leading the charge was Home Minister Amidst himself and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Listen in.
और अभी कल ही हमने कहा था हम सीएए लाएंगे। तुष्टीकरण की, वोट बैंक की राजनीति के कारण कांग्रेस पार्टी इसका विरोध करती थी। लाखों करोड़ों लोग पाकिस्तान से और बांग्लादेश से अपना धर्म बचाने के लिए, अपना सम्मान बचाने के लिए इस देश में आए। उनको नागरिकता नहीं मिलती थी, अपने ही देश में वो नागरिकता के बगैर अपमानित होते थे। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हिंदू, बौद्ध, जैन, ये सारे सिख, ये सारे लोगों को नागरिकता देकर उनका सम्मान करने का काम नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया।
पहले का सपोर्ट करने वाला भी लोग असम में है, का विरोध करने वाला लोग भी असम में है। जो भी लोग का विरोध करता है वो अदालत जा सकता है। असम एक पीसफुल स्टेट बने रहे, यही हमारा लक्ष्य होना चाहिए और इसी दिशा में मैं सबको आगे बढ़ने के लिए अपील भी करता हूं।
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question we are asking on the Newshour tonight: CAA to bahana hai, Modi is the nishana? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate, Abbas Haider, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, supports the Trinamool Congress, Abdul Razak Khan, member of the Karnataka Waqf Board. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawalla, petitioner on CAA and a Congress supporter. And Tehseen Poonawalla, what kind of hypocrisy is this? First, it is the Congress that actually brought out the Liaquat Pact, Nehru, which said that justice should be given to those, even after partition, who wanted to come back at a later date, and that they should be given, all those minorities should be given shelter in India, and there should be rights for them, citizenship for them. And then more recently, well, Prakash Karat wrote to the Home Minister. There was Dr. Manmohan Singh who wrote to the Home Minister, made a statement in Parliament in 2003. Ashok Gehlot wrote a letter asking for CAA as a Qanun to get in and give shelter and citizenship rights to all those who came into Rajasthan from Pakistan. And in Assam, who made the detention centers, who wanted the foreigners to be deported. Why suddenly is the Congress party suddenly playing a game of they don't know anything and we are very innocent people?
Namaskar, Navika. Thank you for your question. There are three aspects I would like to put before you. But first, thank you for acknowledging the Nehru Liaquat Pact, against which Shyama Prasad Mukherjee resigned. I would hope the BJP spokesperson acknowledges what a mistake Shyama Prasad Mukherjee made. The Nehru Liaquat Pact was the right moral thing to do, to give citizenship to Indians who had moved to Pakistan and wanted to come back in undivided India. Therefore, we then had Article 6 of the Constitution that gives the Union government the power to give anyone born in undivided India citizenship at an expedited stage. So that's not a debate. That law already exists. What CAA is against, what I have challenged, is on three prima facie issues. First, through your medium, I want to tell Indian citizens, CAA is not against Indian Muslims. It does not take away citizenship of Indian Muslims. In fact, it discriminates against Hindus. Allow me to tell you why. One, there is a vague date of 31st December 2014. It may have sounded good in somebody's head, just like demonetization sounded good. It has no basis in legal jurisprudence. Why 31st December 2014? Number two, the second round I've challenged it is prima facie ultra vires of the Constitution, because let's assume a refugee, a Hindu refugee from Myanmar, which was a part of undivided India, were to come into India, a Rohingya refugee. Under CAA, he cannot get or she cannot get citizenship, but somebody who's migrated before 31st December from, say, persecuted from Afghanistan and has migrated into India can get. So this is prima facie against Hindus itself who have migrated. Number three, I would expand the scope of citizenship for everybody, which the Union government has right. So why not Tamilian Hindus? Why
Elementary,
not Myanmar
my
Hindus?
dear Watson. Elementary, my dear Watson. 1 minute. 1 minute. May I intervene, because you're making a fallacy. You can complete it, but you're making a fallacy, and let me bring out the fallacious point that you're making.
Sure, but allow me to rebut it.
You are saying that why not Myanmar, why not Tamils, etc., etc. Yeah. The fact is that this was assured in 1946 and 47 as a result of partition. In fact,
correct,
this promise only deals with the scourge of
yes,
partition and with the problems that those who were impacted by partition, that is being done 75 years later. Something that should have been done by the Congress party is now being done 75 years later. Who knows the rest that you are worried about will also come in at a later date. Tehseen Poonawalla.
Correct. You've actually made my point. Thank you so much. You actually made my point, because I take your point very seriously. You've read this, you made my point. Therefore, this is unconstitutional, and I'll tell you why. Because if it only dealt with partition, then Myanmar should have come in, not Afghanistan. When was Afghanistan a part of India? Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. So Afghanistan is being put in a vague way, not Myanmar. In undivided India was Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar. You've kept Myanmar out and you've got Afghanistan. Why?
All right. Shehzad Poonawalla responding to your charge. Shehzad Poonawalla is responding to your charge.
Just one line and I will end. Just one line, Shehzad. Can Shehzad show me where in the law or in the rules religious persecution is written? Show me that. Not the intent that the government put in the draft. I'm saying the law and in the rules. Okay. It's not written.
Okay. Shehzad is responding. Take a deep breath. Shehzad is responding.
Jai Shri Ram, Ramazan Mubarak, and I will answer official and unofficial Congress propaganda on this. Both official and unofficial. Only request Tehseen will not interrupt because I heard all his statements out. Now let's start with the unofficial propaganda against this law. Tehseen Poonawalla says that why not for Tamilians? Tehseen Poonawalla, in 1990s, we had one arrangement only for Tamilians from Sri Lanka. So was that discriminatory to Muslims then? In 1950s, Tehseen Poonawalla, we had an arrangement only for Nepalis. So was it discriminatory to other countries that were not part of the so-called civilizational heritage of India? So that is the answer to that, point number one. Point number two, Tehseen Poonawalla, you have asked about cutoff date and it being unconstitutional. This is the 2003 report, which was a parliamentary report, but it was date is 2003, but it is actually headed by Pranab Mukherjee, has Kapil Sibal. And please hear, Navika, very carefully the recommendations of that report. Indian citizenship should be granted to Bangladeshi and Pakistani minority refugees. Identity cards should also be given to them. Citizenship should be only granted to Bangladeshi minority refugees and not refugees belonging to majority community. This is the statement and the recommendation of that. 2003, you have rightly pointed out that Manmohan Singh, as opposition leader, demanded this law be applied. After that, in 2005 and 2006 and 7, the UPA government actually implemented it partly where Pakistani Hindus were allowed to settle in Rajasthan and Gujarat. For 2 years, they have allowed that. Now, was that unconstitutional? Was that not to the entire scope? And by the way, if this is dividing or this is divisive, then Mahatma Gandhi, when the country was partitioned, had advocated that Hindus, Sikhs and others who have been left there, if they want to ever come back, they should come back. So are you saying Mahatma Gandhi is also divisive? And your own ally Uddhav Sena is supporting this. So are they also supporting something illegal and divisive? And now let me come to the other points that he has been made. He says that what about the Rohingyas that have come? By the way, these are the same people who say that the resources are going to be. आम आदमी पार्टी का एक अनोखा आर्गुमेंट है. They are saying कि हमारे यहाँ पे जॉब्स जो है वो क्या इनको दे देंगे, हिंदूज को दे देंगे. वाह भाई, अमानतुल्लाह खान और ताहिर हुसैन ने रोहिंग्याओं के नाम पर दंगे करवा दिए, उनको नल के कनेक्शन दे दिए, तो वो आपके दामाद थे क्या? रोहिंग्याओं के लिए इतना दिल धड़कता है. और फिर लास्ट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ तहसीन पूनावाला, दिस इज अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. तहसीन, triple talaq law was passed by asked by Supreme Court, will be constitutional. UCC isn't part of constitution. Why is Congress opposing triple talaq law? Shah Banu judgment which came from Supreme Court, UCC law which was been advocated by the Congress people, it is part of the constitution, and this is all constitutional stuff which you will oppose, and this is unconstitutional what government is doing, which was actually spoken of once upon a time by Manmohan Singh and Mahatma Gandhi.
Well, let me get in Anirban Banerjee. Let me get in Anirban Banerjee.
Just one line. Just give me one line. I won't speak more than that. Shehzad completely misled everyone once again. Not just Nepal and Sri Lanka, even Uganda, a special law was made under I.N.D.I.A. And you defeat your own argument because those laws did not specify religion. So again, you defeat your own argument when you make argument. Neither did you speak about a date, nor did you speak about why Myanmar is not included and Afghanistan is included. You're defeating your argument and why religious persecution, not in the law or in the rule.
All right,
now let me answer this point.
Response coming in.
Because in Uganda, when the persecution happened, it did not happen against Hindus or Muslims, it happened against all Indians. In Tamil, in Sri Lanka, the persecution happened on the language basis Tamil. So Tamil was specified. In Nepal also, it was an arrangement made for all Nepalis, but they are predominantly Hindu. But in this case, the country was divided on which lines by Nehruji? On religious lines. What is the one second, don't interrupt. What is the persecution? Tehseen, don't interrupt. Tehseen, I request you. I did not interrupt you. Do not interrupt. You say in your point time. Don't waste, Tehseen. This is not fair. This is not fair. Tehseen, which lines was the country divided in? Religious lines. Nehru-Liaquat Pact, what was the basis? Religious persecution of the minorities. And what is the persecution being faced by the non-Muslim communities there? It is religious. So to address a religious problem, what should be the solution?
How is Afghanistan in a part of Myanmar which is religious?
I'll answer this also. I'll answer this also. I'll answer this. I'll answer this, Tehseen, don't interrupt. I'll answer this. Tehseen, I'll answer this, don't interrupt. The systematic arrangement made in these laws is that those countries in our neighborhood which are Islamist theological nations, which is Bangladesh, Islamic Republic of Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, and Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Therefore, these three are based on religion, and on religious basis the minorities are discriminated. Therefore, it's
so why not Maldives and Mauritius with whom we have a border?
Is Maldives the Islamic Republic? Is Maldives?
Can you repeat your argument?
Is Maldives an Islamic Republic? Well, Tehseen Poonawala, while you Google that, let me get in Anirban Banerjee. Anirban Banerjee, now Mamata Banerjee says, Ramzan is the problem. Polarization is the problem. I want to ask you, polarization doesn't happen when Durga Puja, processions are not allowed and other processions are allowed? No polarization happens there. Is it? And then I also want to ask you, as far as Sandesh Khali are concerned, Sandesh Khali, you cannot hear the women over there. You cannot even put them in any camps over there because the rapes are happening in the Trinamool Congress office. But Ramzan is being associated with the CAA notification. 4 years ago, there was no Ramzan. At that time also, Mamata Banerjee had a problem with the notification of the law. I want to understand from you, what is the real reason, and is it only the BJP which is being accused of polarization? What about the opposition parties which are saying, oh, now all those who apply for citizenship will be put in detention centers? You are in alliance with the party that created the first detention center in Assam, the Congress party. You may not give them any seats in Bengal, but you're in alliance with the Congress party in the India alliance. Yet, you point fingers at the BJP about detention centers. What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Okay, first of all, I am very surprised that you missed the difference between a transit center point and actual detention camps that are in existence in Assam right now, which in reality, Mr. Modi in his 2014 campaign actually said that when we get to power, we are going to smash all these detention camps to debris. That is something that never happened. In fact, the numbers have increased under the BJP regime. And since you are bringing in detention camps in Assam, we have seen what NRC actually did. Almost 20 lakh people were left out of the list, and among them almost 14 lakhs for Hindus, and that to Bengali Hindus. And it was Mr. Amidst who in the floor of the parliament said that first CAA, then NRC. Therefore, when somebody is linking CAA with NRC from the opposition side, they are not making a story up. This is something the Home Minister himself said on the floor of the parliament. And regarding the last 4 or 5 years, CAA was enacted in 2019 and this is 2024. How come a government that could do everything in between, from the agricultural bills to the Sanhitas and this and that, overturning the Supreme Court's directive about election commissioner appointment, could not frame the rules for CAA? And they could do this only just when the 24 elections are around the corner. And the second point, which I think is a lot more important, many a BJP leader, especially from West Bengal, has multiple times stated that those who are going to apply, they need to give no documents. Just applying would be enough. I have heard Mr. Dilip Ghosh say this so many times that I cannot count it right now. And there were others also, Shukanta Majumdar and other people. The BJP leaders repeatedly stated that you need to give no documents. But when you go through the rules, we have seen there are a plethora of documents that you need to provide, and even then, there is no surety that you are going to get the citizenship.
So then you should be happy. So then you should be happy that कागज अगर दिखाना है तो सबको दिखाना है, otherwise not anybody. You should be happy in that case. Exactly. What are you sad about? And if you're saying that 2019 the act was passed, in 2019 the act was passed, then you cannot say that it's only on the eve of elections that it is being notified. You know, Ishkaran Bhandari, I think they've got themselves twisted in knots.
Of course it is.
Because they say that the act was passed 4 years ago. Why are they notifying the rules now? 4 years ago was also not convenient time for them. Now is also not. And where is the connection of Ramzan that comes in here? Where is the connection of detention centers? And where is the connection of people being found out and being put in detention centers? Because none of this is part of the law.
Navika ji, thank you for asking the
question, how is it connected to Ramzan, which certain people are trying to connect? The answer is very simple. CAA has nothing to do with Indians, be it Muslim or Hindus, but certain people who want to rely on vote banks are now trying to fearmonger and rely on illiteracy or misinformation or lack of awareness so that they can say it targets Muslims, and to do that they are doing a word association with Ramzan, because it has nothing to do with Ramzan or to do with Muslims in India. Let us be factually clear, and anybody on this panel, if he can say CAA affects adversely or favorably any Muslim in India, I would want him to quote the line, quote the section. Your viewers should know that it does not affect Indians, Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs, anybody. Now to the second point, why this law is not being implemented at that time. Have we conveniently forgotten Shaheen Bagh and Delhi riots, where violent protests broke out against this law, again relying on misinformation? Have we forgotten people like Sharjeel Imam, who threatened to take chicken's neck and break India into two parts or further parts and separate Northeast from India? Have we forgotten that violence? That is the reason it could not have been implemented there and then. It should have been done then. We wouldn't have had this question now. So the government had to ensure rule of law and order. Now let's come to the third aspect of this. I have no doubts. It is the civilizational duty of Bharat to protect people who are being persecuted in these nations. We have the facts and figures. They want to dismiss it. Pakistan, 23% minority population down to 3.7%. Afghanistan, 7 lakh minority population, minority in the sense of minority in an Islamic Muslim nation. That minority was Hindu, Sikhs, Buddhist in Afghanistan, down to less than 40. Some say the civilization which has lasted for thousands of years in Afghanistan has been ended. Should we not protect those people? Is it not our civilizational duty? Is it not our moral duty? Because people are doing that there. And one more point I would want to add, that recently we saw a video, a woman had some Arabic dress she was wearing from Saudi Arabia or some country she had bought online, and they were lynch mobs saying Sar tan se juda, because they thought it's somehow blasphemy. So people who are facing this in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan have to be brought to India. Final point. I am very happy the government is doing it, because 2019 was the moral reason. But today it is also the reason that all these protesters have to learn that by violence or by street veto, you cannot prevent the government from bringing in law which is required. That message I am very happy the Home Minister has given to the writers who are in jail.
So let me get in Abdul Razak Khan sahab. Abdul Razak Khan, when Asaduddin Owaisi sahab says that abhi CAA aaya hai, this is a signal that all minority members in India will now be ready, because they can be asked to show papers at any time. I want to ask you, if this is not polarizing and if this is not fear-mongering, please say it for what it is, call it out for what it is, because if the charge is on the BJP of announcing this to polarize just ahead of elections, then what is Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi doing? Please respond.
Navika ji, CAA cannot be looked at alone. This is a first step towards NPR or NRC. You exactly know what happened in Assam after the NRC. It was earlier projected that there are a lot of Muslims who are infiltrators, but later it found out to be that there are a lot of Hindus who are actual infiltrators rather than Muslims. So now the CAA will definitely, award citizenship to the Hindus. But what happens to those Muslims who are, unable to get citizenship here? They will be left alone. The reason why we are worried today against this bill is because it is definitely discriminatory. Any law that you are, forming in this land, it should be, inclusive. How can you leave out Muslims alone? Now today I am saying this is one step towards Hindu Rashtra. Modi is trying to fulfill the dream of Godse. This is not Hindu Rashtra, right? People of India voted for Modi for their welfare, for our welfare.
Not for the Shehzad Poonawala, please respond. Is this one step towards Hindu Rashtra?
No, we did not vote Modi for Can I now address the issues raised? I'll be very quick and brief. If it was Hindu Rashtra, then why Uddhav Sena is supporting it? Means Uddhav Sena in your alliance is supporting a divisive idea. Mahatma Gandhi also wanted it, and Congress also wanted it. Second point, this is not discriminatory or exclusionary. Let's be be very clear, this gives preferential treatment to a certain situation which has been done with Tamilians, which has been done with Nepalis. The other people can still apply under the normal Citizenship Act. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, like just now example will be given. Adnan Sami was also given. Please, madam, I don't interrupt. Madam, I don't want to interrupt. It's a very sensitive debate. Abdul ji, आप अपने समय पे अच्छा बोलिए ना. मेरा क्यों गला काटते हैं? मुझे बोल देने दीजिए. मैं भी तो आप ही के समाज से हूँ. अब तीसरी बात देखिए, इनको बड़ा लग रहा है कि मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, मैं पसमानदा हूँ, मैं जानता हूँ आपके ऊंची गद्दी पे नहीं बैठ सकता, पसमानदा हूँ तो पैर के नीचे जगह दे दीजिए थोड़ी सी और पूरा करने दीजिए 10 सेकंड और. आपने कहा कि यू कांट लुक सीए अलोन, वी हैव टू सी व्हाट इज कमिंग विद इट. अरे भाई, एनआरसी का ड्राफ्ट कहाँ दिखा आपको? ये बच्चा पैदा हुआ नहीं, आप मुंडन कराने चले निकलते हो. और एक पॉइंट, क्योंकि तहसीन ने मुझे बड़ा उस समय पे इंटरप्ट किया था, एक पॉइंट मैं तहसीन का एड्रेस कर दूं. प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट. तहसीन का पॉइंट प्लीज, आई वांट टू एड्रेस वन पॉइंट. प्लीज, आई वांट टू एड्रेस वन पॉइंट. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. तहसीन के साथ एक पॉइंट एड्रेस कर दूं प्लीज. Please, madam,
this country has given votes to a man and a party which has a majority. And they have taken a decision which was there in their manifesto. Where is any law being broken? So Abdul Razak Khan, all right, another point raised by Tehseen Poonawalla is being addressed. I have to get in Abbas Haider as well. Please allow him.
देखिए, तहसीन पूनावाला क्या है कि वो अनऑफिशियल प्रोपेगेंडा इतना लाते हैं तो ऑफिशियल अनऑफिशियल में. लुक, Maldives got independence in 1965. It's been around since 1965. The Congress party was in power till almost 2014, full majority or other governments. If the Congress felt that the Maldives was persecuting people on religious basis, it would have also made the arrangement in 2005-06. You implemented the law. Now Maldives became an Islamic republic in the constitution on 2008 when UPA was in power. So I want to ask Tehseen, you were championing the cause of Liaquat Nehru Pact. If you felt Maldives was persecuting the other people there so much, you would have included it in your own law. The fact is that you are now trying to bring in riders. Nobody is prohibited. Maldives का जो लोग हैं minorities, they can apply through the Citizenship Act. Their vyavastha is also there. And there is no discrimination. It is just preferential treatment for a certain section on the basis of legacy Islamist nations which have been there in our neighborhood.
Well, Tehseen, I'll come to you. No, Tehseen, I'll come to you. Your alliance partner, the Samajwadi Party spokesperson, has not spoken. Let me get him.
Yeah, please give him a chance.
Now, Abbas Haider.
But I'm also Pasmanda.
Abbas Haider, the question here is, what is polarizing about this? What is the problem of the timing? Because the timing 4 years ago was problematic. The timing now is problematic. Pehle Ramzan nahi thi, tab bhi problem thi. Today, on the eve of Ramzan, is also being cited as a problem. And there are chief ministers who actually have no role in Citizenship Act, but are saying that they will not implement it in their states. Whether it's the Tamil Nadu chief minister, Kerala, or one more chief minister who's been saying that we will not implement this in our states. I want to ask you, why is it polarizing only by the BJP and not by Asaduddin Owaisi?
Navika ji, I thought you have forgotten me, but I would not repeat any of the point that has been made by my fellow panelist. Navika ji, the logic Bharatiya Janata Party was giving behind this law was that it will expedite the process of giving citizenship, because as we all know that there were laws which used to give citizenship to the foreign nationals. So, but we can see that it took 4.5 years for the government to classify the rules to give citizenship. So this is the how the government is working right now. Now we are in a country where millions of youths don't have job, our citizens don't have housing facilities, and here the government is giving citizenship to new citizens, okay? And at the same time, the same DDA, which is controlled by the union government, is giving notices to the refugees, Hindu refugees from Pakistan living in refugee camp in Delhi, and they are asking to demolish their camp. So this is what has been happening within the government. So basically they don't want to give citizenship to anyone. It is not about giving citizenship on the basis of very good, they are very modest and humble, that they are giving citizenship. No, it's not that. It is just about the political agenda, because right now in the rallies of the top leadership of Bharatiya Janata Party, people are not turning up. So this is the reason they have to get back to their divisive agenda, and that's what they are doing right now. I would like to say that if you have so this was about the resources that our country cannot afford to take give citizenship to move people.
May I inform you that these people are living in India, some of them since 1971. There are no new jobs that are going to be taken and given away. The jobs are taken, their food is being given, sab kuch andar hai. No new people are going to come in.
Just one line to expose this. Just one line. Abbasji, with your permission, just one line. Just one line, Abbasji.
That's where I wanted to take you.
Abbasji, just one line.
There are people from other religions.
Just one line.
All right.
Abbasji, just one line.
Abbasji, your first argument is being countered by Shehzad Poonawala. First argument.
Abbasji, resources की चिंता है ना? तो बोलिए कि
10 more seconds.
Just one line. You answer after that. You answer after that. Just one line. आपको रिसोर्सेज की चिंता है ना? I take your word genuinely. बोलो रोहिंग्याओं को लात मार के बाहर निकालो. रिसोर्सेज की चिंता है ना? रोहिंग्याओं को दमाद क्यों बना रखा था आपने?
Double standard ना. See, that is what I was telling you. That is what I was saying. So there was the resources aspect, and another aspect was the
नहीं रोहिंग्या कौन से रिसोर्स पे रह रहे हैं? रोहिंग्या के लिए ठीक है. हिंदू को ना मिले, सिख को ना मिले, क्रिश्चियन को ना मिले.
अरे भाई, let me complete. No, I am saying if somebody is getting, if the basis of giving citizenship to these people is prosecution, then what is the problem with the Hazaras or the Ahmadiyyas or the Khadijis?
They can apply under Citizenship Act.
Who are getting prosecuted?
They can apply.
Please,
we cannot have dual policy.
Please send them the Citizenship Act and they can apply.
One more argument. Very good argument. Today I am very happy as a Muslim. ये कल तक बोलते थे 10 seconds. Please don't interrupt. कल तक ये कह रहे थे कि
can they apply under
yes under the citizen
can they apply
I'm answering Abbasji 10 seconds they can apply under the normal Citizenship Act, but today Navika ji आज कल से आप डिबेट बंद कर दो. क्यों?
They cannot apply under CA. So what is the point?
अरे भाई 10 सेकंड दे दो भाई मुझे 10 सेकंड. Abbas, why are you interrupting me? Let me complete 10 seconds. They can continue to apply under Citizenship Act, but I am very happy from tomorrow we should have no debates, because till yesterday they were saying कि भारत के मुसलमानों का जीवन जो है यहाँ पर तहस नहस हो चुका है. यहाँ पे तो वो बाहर के मुसलमानों को बुलाना चाहते हैं. मतलब मोदी is so good for Muslims that they want all the Muslims of Pakistan also to come here, Muslims of Afghanistan also to come here. वाह भाई वाह. So I am thanking you for that.
Tehseen, 20 seconds. Make your point.
I'll take 30 seconds. First, I completely agree with what Ishkaran says. It is the civilizational duty and responsibility of India to give Hindu citizenship. No,
and why are you in court?
Hear me? Navika ji, please allow me to make my first point. I've gone to court, so please allow me to make my point. It is in court because Hindus must be given. In fact, more Hindus must be given. Shehzad says the Rohingyas should be kicked out. The Rohingyas, the government is taking a stand to protect them. Last thing, I want to make this very clear that people who come on the news channels have not read the bill and make this a Hindu-Muslim issue. Some have not even understood. Anyone can apply for Citizenship Act, and people before 31st December 2014 are already into India. What you have to trap the government on this unconstitutional laws, the government already has the power to expedite the citizenship. That power rests with the union government. Give it to them. Who's stopping the government?
Well, then in which case you should hold classes. You should hold classes for your alliance partners, the Trinamool Congress and the Samajwadi Party.
1 second.
Last word, Shehzad.
Tehseen Poonawala said that the government is defending Rohingyas. This Times of India report, Rohingyas pose a national security threat to India. This is the problem with the unofficial Congress. They come and lie here on debates.
You get the UN cards.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the timing is questioned. Well, it was inconvenient 4 years ago. It's inconvenient today. Polarization is a problem. They don't look at Mamta Banerjee's statements or Asaduddin Owaisi's statements, but they will look at the BJP statements. The question is this, once again, I begin and end where I began from. Is CAA bahana and Modi is the nishana? That really is something that people of India will need to figure out for themselves. Well, thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.